Hi, welcome back, and in this lesson I'm going to talk about drip filters and selecting the one that's going to be most appropriate for your situation. If you're on domestic water, you have a water meter, it's being supplied by your city or county, then chances are you're going to have very clean water, and a typical 150 mesh drip filter is going to be all you need to keep your system clean. If, on the other hand, you're on a domestic well where you may have sediments or iron deposits that are being drawn up, then you're going to want to be a little more aware of filtering this water or keeping extra filter cartridges on hand to change them out. And finally, if you're on an open ditch irrigation system, then you're going to be getting a lot of sediment, a lot of moss and algae and such that is flowing down the irrigation ditch. And that's where you're going to want to look into having what we would call a pre-filter. So in that instance, we'd be looking at possibly using something like a 25 mesh that would pick up a lot of that algae or moss before it ever got into this 150 mesh filter here, which I'm not sure how well you can see that, but it's much, much finer. So this would take a lot of the big stuff out and protect this one here. This is a 50 mesh, so it tells me that at the base, and this 50 mesh filter would possibly be all I need. Again, it's going to depend on your individual situation. This guy here has a spin plate. The water enters these two orifices or holes here at the bottom and swirls and gets a vortex going on the inside, and at that point the water exits the filter and then flows on out into the landscape. One other filter to be aware of is what's called a clear view, and in this instance this would hang vertically. It'd be above grade, above ground, and hang vertically off of your piping. This is a 2-inch, and so this is pretty big size. This would be good for orchards, vineyards, that idea. And the nice thing about this is you can see how dirty the water is getting, and in this instance the water enters into the interior of the filter and then comes out, it comes in and it's on the exterior of the filter, and then it goes, the clean water enters through the screen and exits into the landscape, and you can see how dirty the water is getting, and remove this little PVC cap at the end and blow a lot of the dirt out, and then when necessary, then you could just unscrew this ring and this whole bubble comes off, and you can pop this screen off and give it a good cleaning or put it into soapy water, and then you can just go ahead and clean it at your leisure, but keep a fresh filter cartridge handy, and then you can plug the clean one in, and so you have very little downtime, especially if you've got a commercial operation. So be aware of what your water source is. Be aware of how clean or dirty you may be dealing with it. If you're having someone design a system for you, make sure they're aware of this. And if you don't know exactly what to do, talk to an irrigation professional and they're going to help steer you in the right direction. So that's just a quick overview of filters, and thanks for watching. I will see you in the next lesson.